privilege to bear during so much of my life and duty.
I'm 75 now, and I can't remember anybody except the Queen being there.
After years of whispers, scandals, and tightly guarded royal secrets, King Charles and Queen Camilla have finally broken their silence, declaring, "It's time to reveal everything." In a moment that stunned even their closest aides, the royal couple is preparing to expose the truth behind decades of palace drama, public scrutiny, and hidden family tensions. Insiders say nothing is off limits, and what's about to unfold could change how the world sees the monarchy forever. But what exactly are they ready to confess? And why now, when the stakes have never been higher? The shocking revelation. King Charles III and Queen Camilla have recently shared a new and deeply personal update about King Charles's health as he continues his battle with cancer. Since revealing in February 2024 that he had been diagnosed with an unspecified type of cancer, the British monarch has chosen to keep most of the details private. But during a recent visit to the Army Flying Museum in Hampshire, the 75-year-old king, alongside Camilla, opened up a little more. While speaking with a British Army veteran who mentioned that he had lost his sense of taste during cancer treatment last year, King Charles nodded in understanding. According to the Daily Mail, the king quietly revealed that he'd experienced the same thing, losing his sense of taste during his own treatment. Although he didn't explain whether this side effect was temporary or still ongoing, it was a rare and honest glimpse into what he has been going through behind palace walls. This public appearance at the museum is one of the first few outings King Charles has made since stepping back from his royal duties earlier in the year to focus on his treatment and recovery. His return to official events began on April 30th, when he made a meaningful visit to the University College Hospital Macmillan Cancer Centre in London, accompanied by Queen Camilla. In a video shared on the royal family's Instagram page, Charles and Camilla are seen warmly greeting patients, shaking hands with medical staff, and learning about the vital work being done at the cancer center. The caption thanked the dedicated team at UCLH and Macmillan Cancer Center for their nonstop efforts to support patients through some of the hardest moments in their lives. The visit not only marked Charles's first day back in public life, but also his new role as the patron of Cancer Research UK, a position previously held by his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II. He also continues his long-standing support as patron of Macmillan UK. During the visit, Their Majesties listened closely to patients and their families as they shared stories about their cancer journeys, treatments, and the hope they found in care and community. They also met with doctors and hospital staff who explained how cutting-edge technology, including advanced CT scanners, is helping doctors detect cancer earlier than ever before. This special appearance came just 4 days after Buckingham Palace officially announced that King Charles would begin slowly returning to public duties after what they described as a period of treatment and recuperation. The palace added that this visit to the Macmillan Cancer Center was only the beginning, with more public engagements planned in the weeks ahead. As the one-year anniversary of King Charles's coronation approaches, the royal couple remains grateful for the many messages of love and support they've received from people all over the world. Through all the ups and downs of the past year, they've felt the strength of that kindness. And now, as the king steps back into the public eye, he's doing so with renewed determination, purpose, and heartfelt appreciation. Could King Charles be dealing with other undisclosed health conditions that remain hidden from the public eye? And if that's the case, who will he entrust with managing the responsibilities of the monarchy in his absence? Let's find out. King Charles' recent diagnosis. For the very first time, King Charles opened up about 2 serious health battles that had been quietly affecting his life: Parkinson's disease and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. These conditions, which had been hidden from public view, had slowly been taking a toll on him behind palace walls. But the biggest shock didn't come from the diagnosis. It came from his unexpected decision to step back and hand over royal responsibility to someone he deeply trusts, Princess Catherine, his beloved daughter-in-law. The royal crown, which has been passed down through centuries, carrying the weight of history, duty, and tradition, is now moving into Catherine's hands. It was an emotional and defining moment in the autumn of 2025, one that left not just Britain, but the entire world speechless. On that quiet, unforgettable day, King Charles stood in front of a crowd of cameras at Buckingham Palace, his face a blend of courage and weariness. At 76 years old and flanked by Queen Camilla and Prince William, he addressed the world in a historic press conference. There was no pomp, no grand pageantry, just raw truth. He shared that, in addition to the cancer he had been fighting since early 2024, he had now been diagnosed with another unnamed illness. His voice, though steady, carried a deep fatigue and seriousness that made the room fall silent. Then came the moment that no one was expecting. In a calm but powerful tone, King Charles announced that he was passing the throne to Catherine. She wasn't just the Princess of Wales anymore. She was being called to lead an entire nation. Behind the scenes, whispers rippled through the royal family. Those who saw Catherine that day said she couldn't hold back her tears. Her emotions overflowed, not just because of the king's fragile health, but because of the enormous task that was now being placed on her shoulders. It was more than a royal decision. It was a deeply human moment. Catherine, who was a mother, a wife, and now the next royal leader, stood at the edge of a life-changing path she hadn't expected to walk so soon. The king, voice thick with emotion, said, "My family has always been my strength. And now, I'm counting on my daughter-in-law, Catherine, to guide this country forward." That single sentence shook the world. News outlets rushed to report the historic shift. Social media exploded with reactions. Yet behind all the noise, the quiet sobs of Catherine told the real story. King Charles had always chosen his words carefully when it came to his health. But even now, he did not name the illness he had recently been diagnosed with. All the palace revealed was that a new condition had been discovered during recent checkups, one separate from his ongoing battle with cancer. The silence around the details sparked a tidal wave of speculation. Some royal watchers believed it could be COPD, a serious lung disease that slowly makes breathing harder. It could explain why the king had seemed unusually tired in recent months, like during his speech at the 2024 State Dinner, where his breath seemed short and his voice weak. Others noticed his red eyes on a recent trip, said to be a burst blood vessel, but now believed by some to be a sign of deeper stress. Others speculated it might be Parkinson's disease, a neurological condition that affects movement. A brief tremor seen during a ceremonial handshake fueled the rumors even more. If true, it meant the king was not only fighting cancer, but also another debilitating illness that would slowly weaken his control over his own body. None of these theories were confirmed by the palace, but the secrecy only deepened the public's concern. People across the country and the world began sending messages of support, hope, and prayers for his recovery. Behind the scenes, though, the most emotional part of the story was what happened in private. At Sandringham, in a quiet, heartfelt conversation that lasted into the night, King Charles confided in Catherine. He told her everything about his health. Catherine, who had recently finished her own cancer treatment in January 2025, understood his fears better than anyone. She had walked that path. She had faced her own mortality, and now she was helping him carry his pain. He doesn't want pity, a close royal aide shared. He wants to be understood, and Catherine gives him that. Throughout all of this, King Charles kept working. He traveled, attended state functions, and held high-level meetings, even as his body grew weaker and the treatments left him exhausted. People close to him noticed that he had become quieter, spending more time alone, reflecting. In these difficult times, Catherine became his rock, his emotional support, someone who understood both the cost of illness and the weight of royal duty. On the day of the historic announcement, Catherine looked as composed as ever in front of the cameras, standing just off stage at Buckingham Palace. But those who truly knew her saw the truth. Her hands were shaking. Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears. She was doing her best to stay strong, but the weight of it all was nearly too much. She felt like she was carrying the entire world, said one palace staff member. Her quiet sobs, hidden from the public eye, spoke volumes. They were tears for King Charles, for the life he had lived, for the pain he was enduring, for the heavy burden she was about to carry. This wasn't just about tradition. This was about a family going through heartbreak in front of the entire world. Catherine's story isn't just about stepping into a powerful role. It's about strength shaped by suffering. When she was diagnosed with cancer in early 2024, she described it as a terrifying, unpredictable ride. At times, she had to wear a brave face even when she felt like breaking down inside. Chemotherapy left deep emotional scars, but it also gave her a quiet resilience that few could see from the outside. How has Catherine coped since the shocking revelation? Let's take a closer look. Beyond the throne. Ever since doctors announced that Princess Catherine's cancer was in remission in January of 2025, she has slowly begun to open up about the silent battles that followed her treatment. The exhaustion that never truly fades. The waves of anxiety that creep in during quiet moments. And the ever-present fear, hidden but powerful, that the illness might come back. These feelings have shaped her in deep and lasting ways, allowing her to connect more closely with King Charles during one of the most difficult times of his life. When King Charles confided in Catherine during a quiet, personal conversation and revealed his new diagnosis, she didn't just listen as a royal. She listened as someone who had walked that painful road herself. She knew the fear of hearing a doctor speak in hushed tones. She knew what it meant to look into the future and not know what lay ahead. Her heart broke for him, but at the same time, she felt an inner strength rise. A close friend later said, when Charles opened up and trusted her with the truth, Catherine felt both crushed and lifted. It was one of the most emotional moments of her life. What made it even more powerful was the bond they already shared. Charles didn't see Catherine as just his daughter-in-law. To him, she had become something far more personal, his emotional anchor. He often praised her quiet bravery and the grace with which she faced her illness. Their shared experience with cancer had drawn them together in a way that few could understand. They had shared late-night phone calls filled with quiet comfort, gentle laughter over cups of tea, and peaceful walks through the gardens of Sandringham where words weren't always needed. Through these small but meaningful moments, their connection deepened. So when King Charles chose to name Catherine as his successor, it wasn't only a royal command. It was a heartfelt gesture from a father figure to someone he trusted completely. For Catherine, it was a deeply emotional moment, a mixture of pride and sorrow. She felt the immense honor of being chosen. She heard the love in every word Charles spoke, but she also felt the heaviness in his voice, the pain he was carrying, the fear he was hiding behind his calm. Her tears fell not just for Charles, but for her husband William, who had stood quietly beside his father, brave but silently hurting. She cried for her children who adored their grandfather and would now witness their mother take on the great and complicated duty of helping lead the monarchy through uncertain times. In that powerful, fleeting moment, Catherine was no longer simply the Princess of Wales. She became something greater. A woman trusted by a king, loved by a family and quietly carrying the weight of a nation's hopes on her shoulders. Her emotions were raw and real, spilling out in quiet sobs that said more than words ever could. King Charles's decision to hand over royal duties to Princess Catherine was more than a historic move. It was a deeply personal and human moment, one that shook the royal family and the country alike. It showed the world that even behind palace walls and golden crowns, the royal family is made up of people, real people, facing pain, illness, love, and change. Catherine's strength, her loyalty, and her deep compassion have now become the light guiding the monarchy through a time of great uncertainty. But why did King Charles choose Catherine and not Prince William, the rightful heir to the throne? Let's take a closer look. Catherine's strength and role. Catherine's fight against cancer in the year 2024 revealed a side of her that many had only glimpsed before. Her deep strength and quiet courage. It was a journey filled with pain, fear, and uncertainty. Yet, she faced it all with remarkable bravery. Each day of her recovery became a testament to her resilience. She didn't just survive, she grew stronger, and in doing so, she became a symbol of hope for countless others. A senior royal aide remarked that Catherine's strength made her the obvious choice for a more active role in the monarchy. But her value went beyond her title or duties. As she quietly faced her illness in the public eye, she became a figure millions looked up to. Her openness about the struggles, the exhaustion, the anxiety, silent fears, allowed people across the world to connect with her in a deeply personal way. She wasn't just a duchess or a princess. She had become a guiding light in uncertain times. King Charles, always one to think beyond tradition, recognized this. In a moment of great national uncertainty, he saw that Catherine could bring people together. She wasn't chosen simply because she was part of the royal family. She was chosen because she embodied something greater, a calm strength, a sincere heart, and a deep sense of duty. As one royal watcher put it, the people believe in her. And right now, that belief is what the monarchy needs the most. This choice wasn't just about royal strategy. It was deeply personal. Over the past year, as both Charles and Catherine faced their health battles, their bond had quietly grown stronger. In the stillness of the palace garden, in handwritten notes passed back and forth, and in hushed conversations under the stars, they found comfort in one another. Through those moments, a deep trust had blossomed, one that had little to do with titles or rank. Charles had always admired Catherine's calm, her empathy, and her deep loyalty. For him, choosing her wasn't just about the future of the crown. It was also about honoring someone he had come to love like his own daughter. According to those close to the royal household, Charles believes Catherine has the rare ability to connect the past and the future, to honor tradition while helping the monarchy evolve. This wasn't a rejection of Prince William. Far from it. In fact, William was closely involved in the decision and gave his full support. He understood what it meant to both his father and his wife. For him, it was also a way to help Catherine heal and regain her strength without being left alone in the shadows. Together, William and Catherine have always been a team, his calm steadiness balancing her warmth and sensitivity. This announcement marked a turning point for the royal family. It was a bold step, one that broke away from long-standing traditions, but it also showed a willingness to change, to grow, and to put the well-being of both the monarchy and its people first. For Catherine, the news brought a wave of emotion. It was an honor, yes, but also a heavy burden. She shed quiet tears, not out of fear, but because of the deep trust being placed in her. As one senior aide put it, Catherine is ready. And the fact that she feels so deeply, that's what makes her the perfect person for this role. The announcement sent ripples through the royal household. Each family member responded in their own way. Prince William stood tall beside his father during the press conference. His face was calm, but his eyes revealed a storm of emotions: pride for Catherine, worry for Charles, and the weight of the future pressing down on his shoulders. Insiders revealed that William had been one of the strongest supporters of the decision. He saw it as a way to carry out his father's vision, while also shielding Catherine from taking on too much too soon. He knew her strength, but he also understood her limits. He was her constant protector, always there to defend her, support her, and help her carry the load. By King Charles's side was Queen Camilla, his steady companion through years of public duty and private pain. She quietly placed her hand on his arm, a gesture full of love and understanding. While she appeared composed, she too had fought her own health battles, ongoing pain in her feet, and past bouts of pneumonia. But Camilla remained strong. Behind the scenes, she became a valuable guide to Catherine, sharing lessons drawn from decades within the royal spotlight. Her advice was gentle, thoughtful, and deeply wise. A close aide said, "She's lived through the storms, and now she's helping Catherine navigate them too." But how did she make it through such a difficult time? Was her family there to support her? Let's find out. Catherine's quiet moment. The royal family stayed close during this difficult period. Princess Anne and the Duke of Edinburgh were always nearby, quietly standing by Charles. Their presence reminded everyone of how strong the monarchy really is, a strength built not just on tradition, but on deep love and a strong sense of duty. This is why, when Catherine cried, it wasn't only for Charles. Her tears were for a family holding tightly together during a storm. Princess Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has shown again and again that she knows how to find strength in difficult moments. When King Charles shared his health news, Catherine was seen backstage letting out a few soft sobs. But this wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a moment of honesty from a woman who has faced so much and keeps rising stronger. Catherine's strength comes from the simple things in life. She finds peace in long walks through Kensington Gardens, where the sound of rustling leaves and the smell of the earth calm her. She finds healing in playing the piano alone, letting the gentle music carry away the heavy thoughts. But her greatest source of strength is her children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. Whether it's baking cupcakes and making a mess or reading bedtime stories, these precious moments with her family refill her spirit. A close friend once said, "Catherine doesn't aim to be perfect. She looks for peace, and that peaceful heart has made her unshakable." Whenever she appears in public, Catherine seems perfectly prepared. But underneath it all, she remains someone real, someone growing into a powerful leader. At a recent charity event for cancer patients, she spoke openly and honestly about her recovery. She connected deeply with survivors, not through grand speeches, but with meaningful glances and kind words. "I'm learning every day," she told one patient, her warm smile quietly reflecting the hardships she had faced. This honest kindness is what makes Charles trust her so deeply, not just as a royal, but as someone who inspires through empathy. People watching the royal family closely have noticed how much she has grown. Once known for her calm and graceful presence, Catherine is now seen as someone with quiet authority, ready to help guide the monarchy into the future. Inside the palace, her influence is just as strong. She's become a rock for Prince William, always offering clear thinking and calm advice when things get tough. Her bond with King Charles has grown too. After going through similar health struggles, they've become close. She's now someone he confides in over a simple cup of tea, talking about both royal matters and family joys. Even her children feel her strength. Charlotte, who's very observant, has started copying her mother's calm ways. and little Louis holds her hand tightly when they go out, as if he knows she will always be steady and strong. Catherine may not officially wear the crown yet, but as one insider put it, she's already carrying the weight of the family, with grace. So what do you think about King Charles and Queen Camilla's shocking revelation? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.